Hello, my name is Horst Jens. I'm boss of Spielen Programmieren. I teach children how to program open source games, and now I show you how to create a very simple vertical shooter game using Scratch. Scratch is a very cool piece of software. You can get it from scratch.mit.edu, and there you have objects, sprites on a stage background in a very limited resolution, x and y. You can see them here, and usually you script little commands by moving blocks here around and attach the blocks to each other like with Lego toy. Now first order of business is to make a welcome screen. Click here on the stage and click here on backgrounds, and you see here an empty stage with a limited screen resolution. You click on edit, you come to a little paint program. If you do this with kids, it's a good starting point to get them familiar with this paint program here. And now I simply paint the title screen. I paint here vertical shooter. You see, I don't even use the inbuilt scripting text function. Of course I could do that, but I don't want. Okay, I'm done now. You see here I use the text function. Now I need two buttons to press them, one to start the game and one to quit the game, and those buttons I will not paint here. Instead I will use sprites for these buttons. That's simply done. You see already here a sprite, the Scratch Cat. I will move it to the side and create a new sprite. I don't paint it, I do a already made sprite here called button. And very important, always give your sprites meaningful names. I call this start button, and here under costumes I can see how it looks. I copy this image, edit it and fill it with another color, so to give the impression of a press it down button. That's all. I have now my start button, and maybe I should use the text function now. I write start on it. So start, and you see this is far too big and too bold, so I use another size. Okay, here you can move text around with these hand icons. With this square. The square will not be visible later on. So good, that's done. I can now move my start button here, and what I want to do now is I want to create some code so that this start button start to function. I go here to the control icons and always choose this box for starting. It means the game is started by clicking on the green flag here. What I want, if the green flag is clicked, I want this start button to become visible, and I also want him to have his button costume on, not the first one. So we go here by looks, and you go here to show to make sure he becomes visible, and that's all. No more scripting needed. Another thing, if this button becomes clicked, then I want him to do something. I want to call him an event. So I make here another event controller. When start button clicked, then I can play some sound. Let's try here. Little drum sound, and then he should create the event, broadcast the event game start to all other listening functions. So game start. You broadcast this message to everyone else. What should happen at game start? Well, for once I want to get rid of the welcoming screen and instead showing the screen with the actual game inside it. So when the game is started by the green flag, I want this vertical shooter screen to show. This is called Background 1. I renamed it to Welcome. And then I import here a new background. I take this XY grid. And this is where the actual game shall happen. So I say here, one clicked, okay, nothing special. But then when I receive game start, then it looks switch to background XY grid. And then when the green color, the green flag is clicked, switch to background welcome. Okay, what else should happen? The start button, when he sent this broadcast, he should hide himself. So we'll not have him in play. Let's test it out now. Good idea, always save your project, because Scratch has a tendency to crash sometimes. So I click here on the green flag, I have the vertical shooter, and I click on start, and you hear the sound, and I see here my game. Okay, that was very good. I stop the script now. Now how can I here start again? I start again, and that's done. So stop. Next. Now let's do some sprite that is moving around. I go here. I have the cat, but the cat is not good for a vertical shooter. I need something more like a spaceship or an airplane. So I delete the cat, and this time I paint my own sprite. I make it very simple now. Just need some kind of biplane. So this is the body, this is the wings, also wings, and of course some machine guns or something. So I can later always make a more aesthetic looking sprite out of it. Here I have it. I can move it around, and of course I call this biplane. There was a very good games that I played a lot in my youth. It was called Blue Max. Okay, this biplane I want to be control with the keyboard. I want it to be able to move horizontally and also a bit vertically, but only in the lower half of the screen. You can see here the coordinates of the screen. So let's make some script. First script, when the game starts with the green flag, the biplane has to hide. Why that? Because if the game starts, I'm at the welcome screen, you remember, and on the welcome screen I don't need yet the biplane. I need it invisible. I need it visible when the game actually starts, when the game start broadcast message is received, and this sprite is one of the sprites that listen and waits for this function, so then he should appear, show, and because it's not clear where he was positioned last time the game was played, I will position him here. You can here always read the coordinates of the mouse. So I say x0 y -100, and I say please go to this position 0 -100. Good. Next order of business, I'm making a loop. I will make him now this loop. It has a slot here for a condition to end the game, like if the time of the game is running up or the game is crashing into too many obstacles. And now let's do here some small controlling. Here with a if close I get a sensor, and I'm sensing keyboards, not the space key that we will use later for firing bullets, but here the left arrow key. And if the left arrow key is pressed at the moment, then I give a motion command by changing the x coordinate by, let's say, 5 to the right. And this if construction I put inside the repeat loop. Now with the right mouse button I can here duplicate this and put it here. It's a bit tricky. Put it here below the other if construction, but inside the repeat loop. And here I change that to left arrow, and then I change x by -5. You can see here the coordinates. So I will do the rest. So as you can see here, I worked a bit in advance. I made up and down key handlers and changed the y value. I changed it with smaller values than the x value, so if I play this game I can move horizontally very fast, but forward and up and down not so fast. So the problem here, I cannot leave the screen. That's actually good. I cannot go down, but I can up too much. I want to restrict the player's zone to the lower half of the screen. To do that I need here even another if construct. So, but with another sensor. The sensor, we'll remove this sensor, and this also. I need here to sense the y position. The y position, and you'll see I cannot place the y position directly in the slot here, in the hexagon. So I need an operator, and I will sense if the y position is beyond 0. So this half. This is what I don't want. I want the B-plane bounce here. So I will not allow a y value greater than 0. If this happens, the y value becomes greater than 0, then I will restrict it and say motion, and now take quick care not to confuse it, I set y to 0. Please notice that important change. Here I change y by some value, and here I set it. If I do that, let's play, I should not be able to move too much up. Okay, I see here this is even too far for my taste. I will use -10 or something. So bigger than -10, then I restrict it to -10. Let's try again. So, and yeah, better. Good. So as you can see here, I painted a bullet. It's more like some kind of fireball, and I painted too big. The game would not be much fun if this little B-plane can shoot that shy guy very big fireballs. So I shrink it. We have here a shrinker, and I shrink it to a more reasonable size. It's always a good idea to start painting big and then shrink. So the point of shooting bullets is that I want my biplane to have a machine gun and shoot a really scream of bullets. So I called this sprite Bullet 1. There will come some more. So what should Bullet 1 do? Let's take an easy script. So when clicked, remember the welcome screen, it should hide. And get out of my way. So, and when should it appear? Well, when there is some firing event, but we don't have this event yet. So let's program it. It would be tempting to make here another duplication of this if module and say if key space is pressed, but that's not a good idea, because then I would generate a lot of keyboard events. So instead I do something else. I use this module here when space key is pressed. That means in reality when the space key is pressed and released again, so it gives a better control of firing. And what I do then? Well, simply I broadcast a fire command. Broadcast, let's say here, broadcast fire 1. So, broadcast fire 1. Who is listening to fire 1? Well, bullet 1 is listening to fire 1. So I can here say, when I receive fire 1, what should I do? First, I should show myself. But where shall I show myself? At the exact position of the B plane. So motion and go to the B plane. What shall I do next? I should travel upwards. So let's make a loop. Again, a loop with a condition to end sometime. Repeat until. And here we can say change. We could say no, we could not so go forward because the direction of this is to the right, but we can say change your Y position by -10, so it will fly upward, and we can say do that until you're touching the edge of the screen. Touching the edge of the screen. If you touch the edge of the screen, then hide yourself. So this is a basic script for the bullet. Let's test it out. So make this here bigger, more fun to play. So and now I press the space key. Oops, someone is shooting in the wrong direction. Okay, yes, I need here to change that by 10. So again, and you can see I can shoot upwards. The problem now, if I press the space twice, you see what happens? The bullet flies upward, and then I press again and it gets teleported back toward the B plane. This is not very satisfying for the player, so I need here a control mechanism. Let's see what I can do. The key is to make an internal variable. A variable is something like a little piece of paper where you scribble some values. So make a variable, and this time make it not a global variable for all sprites, but only a variable for this little bullet sprite, and call it busy to indicate that the sprite is busy. You see it's here painted below this line. I don't want it visible. And busy shall normally have a certain value, exactly the value 0. So here it is set to 0. And now comes the tricky part. When I receive fire 1, then I do some if-else asking. I ask myself, am I busy with flying around? So let's here do an operator, an equal operator. And here, if I'm not busy, so if busy is null, where do I get busy? I simply drag it here. If I'm not busy, then I'm free to be launched from the B plane. So I simply set myself to 1, set busy to 1, set busy to 1 to indicate that I'm flying around. Okay, and else I do nothing. So, and now I need here some loop, because this is done all the time. And I need here a loop to indicate that I'm busy. I will not do that here. Yeah, I found it here. I need this forever if loop. That forever if loop comes here and it gets a sensor. I remit that. It controls if busy equals 1 or true if you want. And then he does all this stuff like becoming visible and flying upwards. So this makes, if you come from another programming language, not so much sense. I set busy to null and then I ask myself if busy equals 1. Of course it's not 1 because I set it to null. But wait a bit. This runs all the time, like 10 or more times the seconds. And here I get from another program the event fire 1, the broadcast message, and I set busy to 1. And now, while this is looping all the time, this condition becomes true and I can shoot. Let's test it out. Here I start. Now I can shoot. No news. But oh, I have now created auto fire. That was stupid. Yes, so why I have auto fire? Because I never set busy to 0 again, so I have to do that again after the bullet was traveling all the way up and touching the edge. I set it to 0 again. So let's see. I start my game. I can shoot. No auto fire this time. And now I try to shoot twice. And you can see it here better. You can see the broadcast is received, but he indicates he's busy, so he don't listen to the broadcast and continue flying upward. That's the key to program a lot of bullet sprites. So now it's relatively simple to make more sprites. All you need to do is here in the else condition broadcast another message like fire 2. But before we do that, I want to make one boss or enemy and make the bullets clever enough to shoot him down. Let's see. We need a new sprite. I can take any sprite now. Let's see what we have here. Well, we have here evil robot. So this is the evil robot boss enemy. I will shrink him a bit. So, and now let's give him some basic script. Yes, he should be a robot. So let's give him a script. So when the game starts, remember, then is the welcome screen. So he should hide. On the other hand, when the game begins, so when the event game start is received, then he should show himself and go to a position. Let's say, well, this position is not so bad actually. It's -135 114. So let's tell him to go to this place. -114. And then he should do something. He should bounce around. So because he's looking in the right direction, we can make him a little loop again here with a condition that I will later specify. and let's say move 10 steps and bounce on edge of the screen. That only works good if the moving direction here is something you want. Let's try it out. And you see he's bouncing, but upside down. But you can easily change that here with this little icon. Now he's bouncing around. Okay, he's bouncing around a bit too fast, so let's move in only 4 steps. Okay, maybe 3. Okay, good. And of course, as an evil boss enemy, he will throw bombs at the player. Let's try to create some bombs. Well, I paint one. So he's shooting blue water bombs. That's all at the moment. So that is bomb 1. And now let's create an event that actually let the robot throw these bombs. It would be boring if I have to press a key to throw the bomb. The robot should throw these bombs alone. How can I do that? Well, I can use a random number generator. It's like a dice. And you have that somewhere here. Operators, yes, pick random between 1 and 10. And I can say, okay, if you have a 6-sided dice and you throw a 1, then I will broadcast a message to throw a bomb at the player. Remember that this loop is looped several times a second, so maybe you need to change the numbers here. Let's make a little if construct. So, and then what I do, well, I broadcast, but not fire 1. That would be silly. I broadcast bomb 1. So, and this I put inside his loop, and now he is all the time throwing the dice, and if the dice gives the correct number, he gives the command to throw a bomb. Let's continue with the bomb. So the bomb should, you know the drill now, should make itself invisible. Hide. But only at game, when the game is started here. On the other hand, when the broadcast bomb 1 is received, the game, yes, it's now the same drill at here with bullet 1, and you can actually copy this. So I copy now this whole block of code to the bomb. You see, I have this now here. Of course I have to switch here when bomb 1 is received. And also I want to copy this code to the bomb. Yep. Okay, put this away. I have here a variable busy, internal local variable, but I don't want to go to the B-plan. I'm now at the bomb. I want to go to the evil robot, and I want to change my Y direction by -5. So let's try to do this out. Game should work now. You see he's throwing bombs, and I can shoot. Okay, not so bad. But now it's time to get some scorekeeping, to destroy the robot or the B-plane if it run into too much bullets or bombs, and also to create several bombs or several bullets to really rain a bullet storm here. How to do that? Let's begin with the bullets. Before I copy this bullet 1 into several bullets, I want to make this bullet as perfect as possible, and the bullet now needs a mechanism to check if the bullet is hitting the robot. You see here I repeat until I touch the edge of the screen, but that's not correct. The bullet should also hide if it's touching the robot. So let's make an OR operator here, OR, and say touching edge or touching robot. Touching the robot. So, and now what happens if it's touched the robot? Let's ask this here with an if construction. So I put that here. No, that was wrong. So what is if I touched the robot? Touching robot. Well, then I think the player get more score. So let's make a new variable, this time a global variable. It's called score. I indicate by writing it big, score, and it's visible for all sprites. So, and I will change score by 1. The problem is score need to be resetted, and I will do that here at the start button. Here I can so say set score to 0. Okay, back to the bullet. Okay, it will change the score by 1. Again, the same can be said, or nearly the same can be said for the bomb. The bomb is trying to hit the player's B-plane, so we need here a variable indicating how much healthy the B-plane is, like our variable called lives. Let's make a new variable, make lives. Again I write it big to indicate it's a global variable valid for all sprites. So, and also here that was not. Well, let's do it here. I set lives to, let's say, you start with 3 lives. 3 lives. Okay, you can see them both here. So, we have 3 lives. Now the bomb is checking if it's hitting the plane. So let's do an OR operator. Or touching edge or touching the plane. So it's touching the plane. Touching the B plane. And again. Oh, that didn't snap. So. And again, what I do if notice I hit the B-plane, well, I make a little control structure here with if I was hitting the B-plane, so touching the B-plane, then I will say change lives by -1, decrease the number of lives. Okay, now back to the B-plane. You remember I had here an empty condition. Well, the game runs as long as you have more than 0 lives. Let's say here, lives still bigger 0. Sorry, repeat until, so I must change that. Repeat until lives smaller than 1. Oh yeah. So let's see. Okay. So if life, repeat until life smaller than 1, and then it's game over. I can actually say this. Look, say game over for 2 seconds. And then I could send a broadcast command to go to a specific game over screen, but I'm too lazy to go to that now. Now let's try to play around a bit and see what happens. So I start my game and I have 1 life. Let's try to make a score. Okay, so score 1, and here is a game over. Good. That's nearly enough for now. Now, how to make a lot of bullets and a lot of bombs? It's very simple. I click here on bullet 1. You see it's working. And all I have to do is to duplicate the bullet 1 sprite and call it, you guess it, I call it bullet 2. Bullet 2. And the sole difference here is, here I don't listen to fire 1, I listen to fire 2. Fire 2. But who is sending the fire 2 broadcast? Well, bullet 1 here has an empty else construct. So if he's busy, he can as well broadcasting the command fire 2. Fire 2. And bullet 2 is listening, and if it's fire 2 receiving, he is spring into action. If bullet 2 itself is busy, he can broadcast the command fire 3 that I must create, it's not existent. Fire 3. And who is listening to fire 3? Well, a duplicate of bullet 2 called bullet 3. Bullet 3 is listening to fire 3, and if he's busy, well, then nothing. I'm too lazy now to create a 4th bullet. The same goes for the bomb. Now let's try the shooter, and I should now be able to shoot 3 bullets. 1, 2, 3. You see, 3 bullets. Okay. As an exercise, you try the same with the bomb and have fun programming with Scratch. Bye bye.